Welcome to Straight Talk. I'm Eugene Chan. Joining us this evening to talk about Hong Kong's first Spacewoman's Odyssey is Professor Li Yiliang, Professor of Astrobiology from the Department of Earth and Planetary Sciences at the University of Hong Kong. Professor Li served as a key scientific team member for China's Tianwen-1 and Tianwen-3 Mars missions, and his research focuses on the origins and evolution of life on Earth, as well as the search for possible life on Mars. He previously served as Associate Research Scientist at NASA Astrobiology Institute and is a Fellow of the American Geophysical Union and the Geological Society of America. Welcome to Straight Talk, Professor.
Okay, thank you.
Professor, just days ago, the whole Hong Kong city was erupted with celebration as Dr. Lai Ka-ying, our very first astronaut, blasted off aboard the Shenzhou 23 spacecraft and now docked at the Tiangong Space Station.
Yeah.
It must have been a breathtaking moment because I know that you were actually at the Tianwen Satellite Launch Center.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about how you feel at that moment?
Yeah, that's very exciting and very stunning because it's especially the launching moment. It's a very tall rocket, and with tons of explosives burning at the bottom, and the astronauts were sitting at the top. So
right.
That's the setting of the rocket, and the rocket is about 1.5 kilometers away. And when it's began to uplift, we can see the explosion of this fuse, and then after a few seconds, we can feel the sounds coming to us.
Right.
We can feel the sounds coming to our face and to our body.
Right.
So the noise is very loud and very stunning.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, we are all in Hong Kong. Everybody was watching from the television.
Yeah.
And we are very excited seeing our own astronaut.
Yeah.
I mean, like Dr. Lai, not only he's a police superintendent, I think she's the first Hong Kong person, first Hong Kong astronaut, and she's also the fourth Chinese woman in space.
Yeah.
And actually the first Chinese female payload specialist.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of the first time for Hong Kong.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because she's also your Hong Kong U alumni.
Yeah, that's great for us.
Yes.
We feel very excited.
Right.
Yeah.
If you look back, the whole experience, do you have any one moment that you're a bit worried when the rocket going up?
Oh yeah, when it's uplifting. It's a very phenomenal. It's very stunning. So that's I think many people are very kind of nervous because we don't have experience on that.
Right.
Yeah.
How would you imagine Dr. Lai and the other two astronauts feel inside the rocket when liftoff?
Well, I think they are already very tough. I don't think they feel nervous. They probably just already ready for that.
Right.
Yeah.
We know Dr. Lai was selected in 2022 as part of China's fourth batch of astronaut trainees and has actually undergone really strong training.
Yeah.
What would be the physical challenges that one must overcome so that she's qualified for this mission? You just said that they'll be more prepared.
Yeah.
How do you think they would have been trained?
I don't know the detail, but what I believe is that they are at the very edge of all kind of animal in terms of the physical condition.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure when they're trained, they have to look at maintain the mental focus and also their emotional stability.
Yeah.
Can you imagine living in such a high-pressure, isolated environment actually for many months ahead?
Yeah.
How do you think all that can be done?
Oh, well, I think that's something we probably can never feel as average people.
Right.
Yeah, it's
not easy, is it?
I think it's very difficult.
Yes.
It's testing of every boundary of a human being or an animal on Earth.
Yes. And also, she's the first Chinese female payload specialist.
Yeah.
I mean, to many viewers, they don't understand what is an astronaut, but they don't understand what is a payload specialist. What exactly does it refer to?
Yeah. Well, payload specialist is actually a scientist. So she will work on those, all those experiments designed for the space station.
And also, I'm sure the viewers will be asking, apart from being the payload specialist, they have to go through sort of a new life out even at the Tiangong Space Station, right? How do you think they're going to manage basic needs like nutrition, hygiene, or even sleep under zero gravity?
Well, as there are some space medicine. They have, I think they have some proxies for them they probably need to live on those proxies.
Right.
Those should be fun.
Yeah. Okay.
And probably also something very fun, very interesting.
Yeah, I was told by some of the government officials telling me that Dr. Lai will be up there for 6 months.
Yeah.
And actually, because we wanted her to be on Straight Talk after you have done the introduction, and it looks like she'll be monitored for health for another 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's quite a long journey, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Okay, and it's so up high, about 400 kilometers above us.
Right, and also I've read that her family actually have moved to Beijing to support her as well. So I think it's a very meaningful, very special story for Hong Kong person being in the space for the first time. So let's move on to your work, because I mean you're not trained as an astronaut, so but you're very close to the work. I mentioned earlier you're with the Tianwen-1 and Tianwen-3. There's a Chinese mission to the Mars.
Yeah.
When now we have your homegrown astronaut, how does that change your work towards this science work? Does it make you more excited now because we're getting even closer to it, because we actually have something actually going up?
Yeah, it's more excited, and it's really more closer to our goal of the study of Mars.
And you know, in Hong Kong, I mean, apart from Hong Kong, you understand there are UST and also another university who also have space programs.
Yeah.
Where do we stand actually in terms of all this space research for the rest of the world?
Yeah. Well, I think we have a very good condition now.
Right.
For the people from Hong Kong U, we focus on science. People from Poly U, they focus on like space survey, remote sensing, and people from UST, I think they have very good experts on space robots.
Right.
Yeah.
You see, Hong Kong, I mean, I think we are very proud.
Yeah. 5
out of 8 universities are in the top 100.
Yes.
So would you say our space program is also up there with the rest of the world?
Yeah. It's. I think what we are doing now is probably is already some leading program.
Right.
Yeah.
So what other programs are you aware that's happening in Hong Kong right now?
Those people from UST and from PolyU, they have big groups working on those Chang'e series.
Right.
Those exploration of over the moon.
Right.
Yeah, and we have group here from Hong Kong University, and also people from PolyU work on this Mars.
Right. See, you have your own piece of big news. Let's go to your piece of big news called the Tianwen-3 Mars mission.
Yeah.
Out of so many elite institutions around the nation, Hong Kong used short wavelength infrared spectrometer, I can read it properly, which you are actually leading it. What exactly is it, and why is it so special that Hong Kong can be up there?
Okay, so this is a spectrometer. We simply say we call it a camera.
Right.
It's an infrared spectrometer. It will be installed on the orbit. So that will be, the first function is to serve as a monitor to forecast the dust storm when the Tianwen-3 is landing. Okay, the first function. Second one is to map the surface of the ground so that we can find out the very highly scientific, valuable place to land. And the third function is after the accomplishment of the Mars sample return, we will work for 5 more years with that spectrometer to study further the details of the surface of Mars.
Right. I understand that you will aim to bring some samples back from Mars back to Earth.
Yeah.
How long would it take?
It will take it will take about 7 months.
7 months?
From Mars to Earth.
Is there? I mean, since Hong Kong, we are very, very proud of the fact that you have a spectrometer up there helping out with the project. Any challenges that you face when you develop this spectrometer?
Now it still has some challenge because all our progress need to be along with the progress of the whole program, so that we need to finish the prototype spectrometer in probably 1 or 2 months from now on, and then we needed to finish at the Eurospace level or Eurospace grade camera in 2027.
Right, I see. Right, let's go for a short break now. We'll be back with more Straight Talk. Welcome back to Straight Talk. We are talking to Professor Li Yiliang, Professor of Astrobiology from the University of Hong Kong, about Dr. Lai Ka-ying, our very first astronaut in space, and what that means for Hong Kong. So, Professor, thank you for sharing with us your first-hand feeling of being actually at the launch site and how excited that we see a Hong Kong person up in the space. And then you also told us about your research work, where Hong Kong is heading. As part of our mainland, I'm sure we work closely with our counterparts in over the mainland, so that we have added advantages. Is Hong Kong you working with any universities in mainland on the space projects?
Yes. For this spectrometer, we collaborate with Zhejiang University and also Changchun Institute of Optics, Fire Mechanics, and Physics.
Right. So how do you feel? I mean, does it make Hong Kong sort of being able to fill the gaps, or do you think, are we leading them? How do you divide your labor work?
All right. Now we work on the scientific part. They work on the hardware, and in the future we will also build a lab here. We probably also do build some parts of the prototype in a Hong Kong laboratory.
So that sort of started Hong Kong on a new foothold, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. And nowadays now you're working on Tianwen-3 and Dr. Lai in orbit. Seems like Hong Kong is no longer just a spectator for all these space programs. So is it fair to say, are we moving from the sidelines to now being a serious player in sort of national space science?
Well, I think Hong Kong is moving very fast. Like in our department, now we have quite a few world-leading scientists who study the planetary science. And for PolyU and University of Science and Technology, they have world-leading scientists in space robots. It's moving very fast.
Right, so we are definitely a serious player. That's what you're saying, yes. And in the past, when people think of Hong Kong, if you watch Straight Talk enough, we talk about real estate, we talk about banking, we talk about finances, but never rocket science. First time we were there. So the Hong Kong government, we are being tasked with a new job in the 15 5-year plan of the INT Center. But do you think Hong Kong truly can be an aerospace hub, or we're just having a niche academic pursuit right now?
Yeah, I believe so, because we can organize the scientific study and engineering study in a technical approach very quickly. So I think it can be a very real leading position.
Even in Hong Kong?
Yeah, Hong Kong,
Right. See, people talk about AIs and all that nowadays, and a lot of young students, when they want to decide what they want to do, they also look at the job opportunities. Used to be in finance, in medicine, in law, whatnot. So when you talk about talent retention.
Yeah.
Do you have difficulty recruiting Hong Kong students to do into your faculty? Because it's a long process, isn't it? It takes time for things to develop and be successful.
Yeah.
Do you have any problems in that?
I don't see problems because we have quite a big pool of students who are very interested in space, astronomy, cosmology, all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So are there many jobs available when they graduate?
I don't know. It's developing.
It's developing.
Yeah.
So it's a new frontier altogether.
New frontier.
Right.
Yeah.
You told me earlier you have been, you were working in this, you graduated from mainland.
Yeah.
You worked in the States for a few years.
Yeah.
Hong Kong is now your home for 18 years, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen more and more resources putting into astrobiology and space by the government and by the university?
Yes. It does. It's increasing very fastly. And Hong Kong, you provide positions for world leading scientists, and other universities also doing the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So apart from spectrometer, what are the projects that you can disclose to the viewers? I'm sure you have something along the line. In what direction will you be developing your sort of new equipment?
Yeah. Yes, it does. We have professors working on another mission, which is toward Jupiter.
Oh, really?
So that will be Tianwen-4. We have professors are working on that already. And then we also have professors working on Tianwen-2. The spacecraft is going to an asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, so no wonder you said Hong Kong nowadays can be a hub, because there are many scientists from different universities work on, you said, robots, and even Jupiter.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Jupiter and some asteroids.
I see.
Yeah.
So where do you see Hong Kong? I mean, as I said earlier, we have never been into spaces, we've never been into science. So this time, Hong Kong is really moving to that direction.
Yeah.
Do you think we need more funding from the government?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So when you say funding, do you mean that you have to apply for the funding, or you think the government have to pour the funding into this field so they can do better? What do you think?
Both.
Both.
We propose, and the government need to review carefully what we are supposed to do.
Yeah. So how do you compare Hong Kong universities and other mainland universities in terms of funding, or even technical support, or even your talents? Is Hong Kong being competitive compared to the mainland university like Zhejiang University?
Well, I think Hong Kong is very competitive when comparing to just mainland universities.
Right.
Yeah, because we can organize these projects very quickly. And the government review of this procedure is also very, very fast.
Right, so no wonder you say Hong Kong is moving very fast.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you something out of the context of this space mission.
Yeah.
You have been in Hong Kong for 18 years.
Yeah.
You've been in the States.
Yeah.
You've seen our astronauts growing up now.
Yeah.
Hong Kong now is moving into the INT center.
Yeah.
But as you said, a lot of things are unknown. We don't know whether there will be jobs available.
Yeah.
But who will be the sponsors? Who will be the beneficiaries of all the space program? Because there will be where the money is coming from, right?
Yeah.
Which corporation will benefit from all this work?
Well, I think this is one of the things we can do here in Hong Kong for many benefits of this typical Hong Kong feature, because we can have support from the government, from private sector, from the mainland, from some international sources.
Right.
Yeah.
So what will be your next goal in life? I mean, you are working with a spectrometer in Tianwen-3 for yourself.
Yeah.
What will be your next goal?
Well, next probably you will see some people doing, will be the leading scientist for Tianwen-4.
Tianwen-4.
Yeah.
What's Tianwen-4 again?
Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Yeah.
Right. So will man actually going to fly to Jupiter that far away, or you think that will happen?
Yeah, that will happen. The space, not manned.
Right.
Other spacecraft will be designed to fly for many, many years, like quite a few years to Jupiter to explore its the planet and its satellites.
Right, Professor Li, I mean, so far we have gone through a lot of your work, and then we know that you'll be planning even to go to Jupiter, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I mean, if Hong Kong is a new place for all this space industry and all this technology, will there be sort of an added advantage if all the other universities are working together? Then we're going to have a cumulative effect. Is that happening?
Yeah, it's already happening now.
Right.
Yeah. So now we have, I have a lot of collaborations with the professors from PolyU on the selection of the landing site for the Tianwen-3 Mars sample routine mission.
Right.
Okay? And also we just have close collaborations with people from University of Science and Technology.
Right.
About the robotic facilities on the moon.
Right. So it's really a Hong Kong joint effort for the Mars mission, isn't it, in a way?
Yes, the Mars mission and also the study of the moon.
Right. Just now you mentioned about landing sites.
Yeah.
Just for a matter of interest.
Yeah.
I thought you can land your spectrometer anywhere. Why do you have to select the landing site, and what would be the most ideal landing site?
Yeah, this is a very interesting, very exciting scientific question, because we want to know if there is any life on Mars now and in the past.
Right.
So we want to find out a place with very high scientific value, and we want to have a very precise landing to that spot, so that the lander can drill to the depths, collect the deep sample, and bring it back to Earth. And we use the laboratory to have high precision, high accurate analysis.
Right. Just a very quick question, quick answer.
Yeah.
Are there life on Mars?
I believe so.
Still there?
Yes.
Right. So they are actually Martians. We can see them.
I believe. I hope so.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I think we have to leave it there for now, and make sure if you see the Martians, let us know. We do another program on Mars again.
Okay. If we saw that, we would declare here from Hong Kong.
Right. Okay. Thank you for a most entertaining conversation. I think the question now is whether this historic mission is just a singular moment of pride, or becomes the inspiration for a new chapter in Hong Kong's scientific and technological journey. Have a good evening and see you next week.